Right, hopefully I can get this party started. Um, yeah, I learned Blender many years ago now, and I want to quickly review it and also make a quick bootcamp about Blender, and because I want to make asset for my game, and so I think might as well just pick up Blender and just quickly do it myself. I'm a digital artist. I'm a developer. I want to like control and do everything. So, oh my gosh, so cool. So, yeah, let's get started. So basically, it's about one recording session, one talk, and yeah, build something interesting. Okay, I'm a developer, so I like it. Build everything in public. So basically, that's how I build things in public. Let's quickly check the stream is alright, and so basically it's like behind the scene. I'm not going to like focus too much um, on talking, but rather on doing, on recording. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. I already got this latest Blender, Blender 4.5.1 long-term support. Yeah, why a mouthful. Alright, I know what you're thinking. Well, Blender, when you first open, this is like a really hard environment. You know, you got so many things, you got file, edit, render, and all that. You know, the first thing that I encourage you folks to do is be good for your eyes, okay? Just click edit and go to the preference, and then you can change the and then also you need to know that Blender is heavily rely on the shortcuts. Okay, so it's not going to be very like user, if you will, like user friendly. So it's not like go someplace and click, go someplace to click, right? But rather it heavily depends on the coordination of the mouse, the screen, and the keyboard. Okay, and of course, if you're a programmer as well as a digital artist like me, you can dealing with a little bit using the AI, using the workflow, as well as using code to control everything. Okay, but that said, you have to get the fundamental ready. Okay, you have to know how to navigate the system. That's basically how this series of video is going to show you. Right? So let's get started. Oh my gosh, it's like a little bit cold. Oh my gosh, I don't know what the heck is going on here. And I think once I change the size of it, I have to like make myself a little bit smaller. I don't want to make myself like too big to hit. So maybe I'm going to just shrink myself a little bit. Okay, yeah, maybe not shrink. I can easily just move myself move a little bit away. Okay, I'm gonna quickly test it. A little bit smaller, I think, so it won't like bother anyone. Just place it nice and simple. That's good. That's good. So, fortunately, you don't need to worry too much about the shortcut, because you know what? I already got this add-on called screencast key, so you can like a sort of a cast every key that I'm doing right now to you. But there is like one word of warning here. So I'm left-handed. Okay, so I'm using a mouse that's using my mouse at the left hand, using my left hand. So the primary key as well as secondary key is sort of switched. Okay, so basically, if I'm thinking about like click it, that's the right key, right? If I'm like doing this as a right key rather than a left key. But fortunately, the screencast key automatically like pick things up. So basically, if you are like right-handed, you can still just follow this, okay? But if you're left-handed like me, just switch left and right. So primary key and the second key is sort of flipped, okay? I think that makes sense. Right, let's continue. So first is how to navigate. First, it's like a, if you click this, you got like a transform and all that. You press the key N and it's gone. Okay, so you get like more wider view for us to play around with, which is good. I love it. And you know what? The first thing, of course, is to just some app that we can use to, we can like open file, open existing file, create a new file, and all that. Really, really simple. In fact, when you actually first open Blender, launch Blender, it's like automatic create a file. Okay, so you got like unsaved. Right now, it's like automatic create. You open that, you got like a welcome screen, and you don't need to do anything, right? You just click anything else, and then the welcome screen just be gone. And that is file that we enter, and this file is automatically created, and it's new, waiting for you to do something about it. Okay, so it automatically create a new file, a new scene as well, right? Right now this is like a scene, and so you know what? There is like a cube, it's like a legendary cube. And you know what, if you watch a tons of tutorial, the first step is like, the first one is just click the cube. And you know what, click the keyboard X, and you can delete things, okay? And then you can delete, and you can then make it something new, okay? A lot of people actually deleted and created, which is a little bit redundant, but you know what, it's like old habit. Because a lot of things that's connected to the original cube, you delete it so you can like start like a really brand new plate, which will make everything so much easier. So that's the reason it's like a delete everything, like select A to select everything and X to delete, okay, and then boom, everything's gone. That is good. Okay, that's yeah. We as you can see, I already like use a lot of shortcuts. You can take notes, you can pause the video. Doesn't really matter, okay? But don't worry, all this we will constantly be using. And you know what, yeah, I sometimes I like have used this software for a pretty long time, and then sometimes I forgot about it, but the muscle memory is still there. So don't worry, okay? I will explain, I will demonstrate, and all this thing will be cast on the TV. Not on the cast on TV, cast on the screen, because screencast key right here, so don't need to worry, okay? So first to open Blender, you delete everything, A select everything, and X for deletion, and then you can, right now you already got a file, okay? But if you want to do more with the file, you can do something like the file and then create new, right? And create a new general 2D animation, sculpting, which I love. Wow, I love this like a digital sculpting. It gave me so much freedom to do things and then later worry about the polygon, right? Yeah, so just to create this like a great mesh, remesh it, and then do that. The sculpting give us so much freedom. You know what? With the help of AI, you can generate sculpture, and then later modify it like human review it, just like it generate code. It works like a charm and can make it like a, one-man team. Like become a gaming studio and sort of thing. Okay, so you know what? I love it. I'm going to introduce you to, and I show you some of my sculpture as well. So yeah, and of course you can choose whatever you want. Okay, and then of course you can use the Control and N, right? Then you can create a new file. Okay, really simple. So for example, most of the time we're going to use is a general file. Okay, unless you are aiming for 2D animation, you know what, animation and Grace Pencil and all that combined together, it's amazing. It's even got like a stylized animation by using Blender, especially for animators as well as artists like me. It's a lifesaver to just not leave the software, get all this stylization and make animation. Okay. Of course, you can like make a VFX, right? That's effects. That's brilliant. You can do so much more. Oh my gosh! So, for example, you want to do something and then create something and import that into your game. I personally developed Godot game, and it's a sort of a native support Blender because it's open source. Oh my gosh, that's just simply brilliant. So yeah. Of course, you can like open just using, this is like system level. It's not like a computer system level, but rather it's just a the whole Blender system level thing. So everything system level, we want to go with a system level thing. You start with control. That's a general rule of thumb, right? So for example, you want open, so control and O, open, right? And of course, save changes before closing. Yeah, the save, don't save, does not matter. Cancel and all that. Then you can open things. Okay, and just you can just go to file and then open the same thing. Okay, and all the shortcut will be here, like control S, save as frequently as possible. Of course, you can also automatically save, which we will discuss later. But yeah, you don't want to, sometimes you want to render just simply just a freeze, and you don't want to lose your work. Okay, that'll be painful experience. I do that all the time. I have to like rewind to the previous version. So I'm like, I constantly save it. Just Control and S, just two keys, constantly to press it. As long as you find this asterisk sign, it means that you need to save it. Okay. I know maybe you can't see it because I captured the whole window. So basically, at the top of window, like left top, if you're using Windows, you got like unsaved. Okay, save it. If you got like one file and you got like specific file name, so for example, file 123, and before that you got like asterisk mark, that's indicate that it's file is unsaved. You got some changes. Do Control and S. Come on, just to save it multiple times, just for the peace of heart. Okay, open file, existing Blender file, delete everything, give yourself a brand new new slate for you to play around with. That's the first thing to do. Oh my god, my nose is like completely obstructed by the and I can't like breathe. Just using my mouth to breathe. And you know what? I'm brilliant and like a push forward, even though I can't breathe. Oh my god! And yeah, I finished recording the section, which is brilliant, which I love. And you know what? Blends, I've been using that for a long time, and I love it. And let's look at here. Hello, Mohit, Ranthro, Kanushu. Hello. Oh, I'm using another. Oh, I just saw this chat. Oh my gosh, I need to like bring this chat to the lab because the chat is so small. I can hardly see anything at all. So yeah, I'm bringing the chat to the main screen so I can see everything. So hopefully, if it's still there, window there. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so I'm going to bring this here. Kind of like make it like a fix to. Oh, I can't make it like a pin to the top. Maybe I need to use some software, to further to pin. Let me just put it here. Yeah, I strain for like 2 hours of my like Japanese bootcamp audio book recording session as well, and then I check my first. I train a AI model of me. Like I'm mainly working as a programmer, so I look at the like I make a digital double of me, like using a lot of material because I record tons of tutorial videos, and then I got tons of material to train the AI, and then put that and then see how that goes, and then look at right now it's like software cloud code, and then you can like input a certain objective, and then you can wait for it to generate the thing, and then check that out, and everything goes really smoothly. I think I want to continue to push forward my game. I'm still developing game of like a Japanese learning or language learning in general, VR game as well as the 2D game. So I think I might as well just pick up the Blender, actually create more asset because all the VR. My game is like in the VR settings, so you put on this is a Meta Quest. You can see what's going on inside, and I think I'm gonna make more assets and put that in the game, so I can push forward the developing game. So it's like one man team, like I like doing everything. So I think I think my skill of a blender is getting rusty, so I think I may as well just stream and recording a series of blender tutorials. Then first I can help and build community. Second is like I can quickly pick things up because I did this like many years ago, and right now it's like a blender 4.5 now. Oh my gosh, I think the last time I used Blender is Blender 2.9, 2.8 long-term support version. yeah, so yeah, let's continue. I'm going to stream for approximately 1 hour, and then I'm going to check my coding, and then if time permits, I'll go back, maybe stream a little bit game, or maybe continue with the like just modeling art stuff. Yeah, so yeah, hope that that answers your question. What are you doing? Very long-winded answer for what are you doing today. I did a lot of things today, so yeah. So yeah, I'm going to continue. Okay, I'm going to continue. And let me check. Laughing about. Thank you. Yeah, and because it's fun time. I'm not like a full time like a model or digital artist and something like that. I'm just doing it for fun. Game dev, game not technically not game dev. I am like making asset. This is like Blender. I'm making asset and try to pick things up because I I learned Blender many years, and I think I almost forgot like 50% or 60% of a Blender. So I think quickly pick things up and and create something in the process, and then use that immediately in my like game, because I already get this like immersive VR environment ready. So it's just add the event system so you can get the like you can get the quest and then you can do things, and then I'm going to get the settings. I previously I streamed my Japanese learning channel of me like reading like classic Japanese literature and explain things, something like that. And I think I would like to get a certain like historical settings for my game. Uh, yeah. Thank you, the ugly king. Hello, welcome, and yeah. So it's just quickly pick things up, making product in the process so you can help others, and also in the process we're going to create like the asset that I can immediately use because it's the asset that I create, not the asset. I know because I'm just being cautious because sometimes if you buy certain asset as a platform, and in fact the assets is uploaded by the third party, like is because I work as a programmer and also I opened up multiple companies, so I know something. Sometimes the platform use the uh, they say, hey, I'm just a platform, okay? And a user actually uses user-generated content, user-registered account, and upload these things and sell things, okay? So essentially, if a third party, which is a like actual right owner, that's create this asset, say, oh, this person like stole my asset and sell that on the platform. So if you use that, you might get like a serious trouble, especially if you use that in your game. So I don't want anything to interfere with my creation, since I like, as you guys can see, yeah, that's the reason why actually I learn things like the same as you. I learn things, all the things myself, and try to like create things myself. At least for the peace of heart. Obviously, this way, everything I develop and do it will be pretty slow. Okay, so but just for a peace of heart, this thing that is just something that I can be proud of, because I did everything. Okay, and I can like, because I built everything in public. So I think there's like no no following trouble. Say, hey, this is like we create this, we create this. I think, yeah, I think by chatting, sharing, and contribute to the community, build something as well. Just build that slowly. I know it's maybe contra trend, because right now everything is like really fast. Okay, I'm going to continue to record, because I want to like record the process, but also like contribute to the community, so other people can, oh, this is how things are done. Okay, and of course I want to like record stream in a structured way, not just me doing random stuff. So I follow a certain outline, so I won't get like carried away. I'm like really chatty, and by the way, I'm going to stream for at least at most, not at least 1 hour. So I have to check my other projects. Like AI right now is writing my a lot of projects right now, so I have to check upon AI now and then. So yeah, let's get started. So let's create something. Okay, if you want to create things, there is a shortcut. It's called Shift. Okay, you can Shift and A, and then you can create things. So remember, we talk about like a system level of create things is using control, like open, like control and O, something like that, right? Control, save, S for save. And for like inside of the Blender world system, the shortcut most of the time, the trigger will be the Shift. So you have to sometimes disable some of the other program that you want simultaneously, that maybe starting with a Shift. So you want to like Shift and trigger something that is not inside the Blender, okay? Because it's heavily used, okay? And before we just start creating things, let's just create something for fun. Shift and A, okay? And of course you can search, create mesh, curve, surface, metaboard, and all that. Let's create a cube again, okay? So I know you must have watched tons of YouTube tutorials of a person who open Blender, delete everything, delete the cube, and create a cube again. You might think it's useless, because you say, well, why delete and then create again? But they are like doing something to clear everything, as I mentioned. Okay, so well, that's called modeling. Okay, because we are inside of scene, and this is like the object. We created this object. Okay, and before we actually do something about this, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in this, because you know what, I work not only just about the digital art. I will also have a programmer. I code, and of course you can go to a certain section in Blender, which we will extensively discuss later. That you will notice that every object that you create, right? This is like an object. Every object is just a container, right? Every object is a cube, is a sphere, whatever name that you give, or whatever model that you create, and then you name it, doesn't really matter. Okay? It's just a name, and it's just a container from a program perspective, right? So it's a container of all sort of things, all sort of data. That's what's underneath it, and including like meshes, or even if you got like rig things, you got armatures, and of course lighted camera and all that. So basically, modeling is that we are creating objects, and objects contain all sort of data, and all this data is bound to the object. So if you got there, we got like all sort of a pointer here, which we will discuss, and then it's bound to this object. And then of course we can go anywhere else, okay? And then we can shift an A and we'll create another object like a circle, right? And then of course I can grab this circle and make it out, like grab it out. Oh, it's a circle, right? And then you know what? Shift and A, we can create another object. I don't know, cylinder, okay? And G for grab. I will gradually easily enable this shortcut. I know it's maybe too daunting, but just play around, okay? If you are like watching this while you are, my suggestion is like you open Blender as well, then you can play around, okay? And it's just a muscle memory, okay? Grab this, G for grab, and then boom, click it. That's good. And then we'll shift and A, quickly review, quickly practice this. So for example, a cube, plane. Let's make a plane. Okay, and then G for grab, we can see it, right? And then you can use the middle mouse, you can change whatever angle that you got, right? And then you know what, you can G freehand grab. Of course you can restrict all of this grabbing, but just wait a bit, just to feel free to using this middle wheel, right, to change to a different direction, and then click, grab, boom, put it here. Yeah, pretty easy, right? And then shift and A, create whatever you want, right? Chrome, yeah, and even create like a donut, right? Mesh and torus. This is like a very typical thing to create in Blender. If you just beginning to learn Blender, right? This is like you just like scale this a little bit, and you can like make it like inside the core a little bit smaller, and then you can make a donut. But doesn't really matter. We create tons of things, but just to hold your horse a little bit. All this is a different object, right? A different object. When you click the primary key of the mouse, you select the object, and then you select a series, the container. You basically select the container, and inside the container, you got a series of data. Okay, you just like select a bunch of data, and if you go to here, you can actually see cube, right? This is like an object. You get inside, we got a series of data, right? You can look here, we got like a vertex group, the shape key, and then UV map, and the color attribute, and all that, which we can customize everything, right? That's the amazing thing about things. And of course, you can like go to sculpting. If you like into sculpting, then you can like you can freehand change. I got a drawing pad here, and I got like a drawing pen, which I love. I love the digital sculpting. You know what? You not necessarily need to just using your wireframe to change the data position. You can actually use the sculpting, right? You just treat this as a clay, and then you can just using the pen to just grab it. Okay, you can do so much more. oh my gosh. Okay. What about that's what I learned Pixel about. What about 3D AI nowadays? Generate Blender. Yeah. Out of topic, but what games engine do you use? I use Godot. And I actually I got the on Udemy I got the Ultimate Godot Game Bootcamp. Yeah, I use Godot a lot. Previously, I used Unity engine, and do that for 3 or 4 years using Unity, and then Unity nowadays is like they change the plan, and then they change it back, and I feel that's pretty unsafe. And since my project is not very big, it's not like a AAA project, it's just me developing things. So I think May is a good time to just change to the open source and Blender and Godot and all that. But yeah, I have to use Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint because I love this how it feels, how the process, and yeah, AI 3D AI. I work as a programmer, so you can watch my channel. Got like I got a series of Comfy UI. I play around with this a lot. So I create a lot of the workflow that you can train the model and you can input a prompt, and then through a series of um, uh, processed and then output a model with texture on it, and then you can import that into Blender and then you can modify it. And of course, you can use online service. Right now, I think it can serve as a rough settings, just using AI, pure AI, to get like 3D settings in your game. And yeah, Unreal for 2D now. Yeah, I thought of Unreal. Unreal is like really high performing, and it's brilliant, especially all this like fighting on shooting star game. It's brilliant. And yeah, by the way, if you like using 2D, so to answer the question, I think you can actually using a 3D generated thing just to quickly get the setting correct, get the depth of field correct, and then it's not just about input that into your game. My method is that first, if you just input into a game, you can make it like just blur it out because it's just background, because you got like depth of field, you put it back, and then you got like a parallax sort of mechanism, so it's sort of like moving. But another suggestion is that you can use another AI filter. Okay, so just treat AI as some sort of filter. So the other day, someone like leaving a comment said that we are doing things in the opposite. So basically, we create original thing and using AI as a layer of filter, rather than using AI to create things and then we human try to modify it. But I think I beg to disagree. But I want to say that they are also making very good points. Okay, so basically, you can treat your own original like rough like sketch, and you own it, and you can AI to modify it to quickly make it better. But I think, well, why not just integrate AI into every step? Okay, but it's a human guided creative process. As long as you disclose it, and the AI model is not like a totally like other people, based on other people's like unlicensed trained things. Just use the base model, and then or sometimes I can like using AI to train my own things and create things and make things easier. Well, I'm beginning, but I think so far I'm not finding any limitations. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Let's continue. All right. Let's continue. As I said, inside of the scene of Blender, we create multiple objects. And you know what? This series of videos is not like any other Blender, videos. Is that I teach you do this, do this, do this. I want to give you a program as well as also program work as digital artist kind of perspective. So each of the objects here, I want you to understand what's working under the hood. Okay, so right now is the default mode at here called viewport shading. So basically, shading is just a fancy way of say how things are shown, are rendered. Okay, a method to display, right, your shade object into the 3D view. Right now it's like a 3D view here. Okay, so I know it's not following the traditional order of explaining Blender, but just hear me out, okay? I got like my specific way of telling the story. So you choose this object, right? And right now you're watching this, you think it's there because it's just some render shading of like imagine this is like 3D thing, but it's just to follow a certain algorithm, certain change, and then projecting into a screen, okay? And you think this is like solid, okay? Solid. But I want you just to change this to the wireframe a little bit, okay? As you can see, it's display only edges of geometry without surface shading. So you can see what's working beneath under the hood, okay? So I want you to look at any object, just select any object. This is a mesh object. So basically mesh objects is made of all these vertices and you know, it's vertices like a point in 3D world, and all these points are like connected by these edges, by these lines. Remember, this kind of concept is very important because we're going to play around. We can customize a lot of things. We can grab the vertices, right? We can grab the vertex. Plural is vertices, right? Sorry, we can grab a certain vertex and we can change it. We can change it by like influence certain area, like grab it and change a certain area, and we can change this like two vertex in between is connecting line. This is called edges, right? And we can change the edges as well. We can grab the edges, we can shrink the edges, we can scale the edges, we can do everything, okay? And by changing all that, the whole mesh is going to change, okay? So basically this is a mesh object, 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 okay? Mesh is made of vertices, okay? Vertex, and then connecting vertex is an edge, and different edge connect together, we got a certain face, and all these things enclosed together, we got a mesh. That's the thing here. So just to change the view from wireframe to this solid, you can actually see, okay? Right, so yeah, I'll try to make it like a bite size. And yeah, so yeah, polygon, polygon. Yeah, should I introduce the concept of the polygon? Polygon. Yeah, this may be very important, but I'm still wondering whether I should introduce at this stage. Did Unreal got better with 3D project? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think the Arctis King is like the professional of using the Unreal Engine. I didn't use Unreal. I have some experience with Unreal, but I mainly focus on Unity right now. It's a good alt. So I don't know. I think, but in my personal opinion, I think Unreal is for like shooting game. They got like great template. Yeah, not finding any limitations. Yeah, yeah. So previously we talk about mesh. We talk about the edges, right? We talk about the vertex. But I want you to think of a very, very simple problem. So, if you want to make make a face, like a specific face of a certain mesh, how many vertices that you must half, at least half, 3, because it's triangle, right? 2 points only make it one line, but just adding 1 point, 3 point, triangle can make it a face. Okay, this is very very important because later if you were like modeling, especially right now, I have to like add the AI content as well. So if you're using AI to create things, you will get a tons of like, you know, why I'm become so big. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My camera just did. That's bad, man. Why the heck every time I'll maybe just do some hand movement and the camera just going crazy. Yeah, let me just do that. Yeah, this is my my unofficial way of solving that. Okay, and just plug it and plug it, because there are definitely some bug with the software, so it's not doing. Let me quickly check whether my previous recordings are like. I don't want the previous recording to go like yeah, being unable to use it. Okay, let me quickly check the volume. Vertices, right? Okay. Mesh is made of vertices. Okay, we got a mesh wireframe to this. Okay, yeah, I'm back. Okay, previously we talked about mesh. We talked about mesh, vertex, and edge and face. Okay, so basically, like point is the vertex. 2 points connecting that become an edge, and multiple edge we can make a face of a certain mesh. And I want you to think of one problem: is how many vertices that we can use at least in order to make a face. 3, right? This is very important because, especially, you know, I have to like add, you know, add AI related content now. I know a lot of you may try to use AI to create things, but you have to, you know, AI is like, you know, just imagine, AI can create anything, right? They create even things that didn't exist, right? Weird things, weird model, doesn't really matter. But you know what? As long as you import that in Blender, I have to follow a certain like a physical rule, right? Just like you can create things, but they have to follow this word rule, like a basic constant, something like that. But in Blender, in order to make a face, you at least you have to use 3 vertices to make a triangle, and this shape is like a minimum requirement be composed of a face. Okay, and if you like talking about like the quad, it's like a 4 edges, and then you can make a quad. But I think the least requirement is using a triangle. Okay, so, and of course, yeah, you got like there's like a polygon concept of polygon, right? Sometimes if you using AI to generate things, and a lot of pro will say, oh, look at that poly, right? Something like that. Look at mesh. Look at that. It's just basically they are saying that, you know, the basic faces of your model, right? And it's not good, right? It should be like really fine tuned, like if you look at here, right? If you look at any model that we just created, the polygon, right, is pretty good. Right now it's like a quad, right? And this we can find this triangle shape, like 1 point and then 2, 3. Okay, this top one and then 2, 3. So it's like triangle. So every face at least to have 3 vertices. But here we got like a quad, so it's like a typical 4. So we sometimes call that quads. 4 vertices called quads. And of course, it's not just the not necessarily need to be like the rectangle, right? You can just screw that a little bit. You can make it a little bit. But if you use an AI generated, you have to like sort of rearrange. Sometimes you use AI to block things out, and then you human modify it, right? And this is especially very obvious step that you have to go through if you, like me, you got like sculpting, right? Because sculpting is like a freehand change, and I have to constantly remesh in order to get the polygon like nicely aligned. But if you make it nicely aligned, the shape may be pretty weird, okay? So you have to like then modify that. You have to make it so the basically you can't do things too free-handedly because you will mess up with the like basic faces of your model. And yeah. Oh my gosh, my camera. Oh, okay, I'm gonna do that. Why my camera's like constantly zooming? I think the cameras are like boasting they got like AI, uh, like recognition of the gesture or something like that. And obviously this camera got a bug because every time it would just misread the gesture and automatically like zoom it in, and I don't know why. And once it zoom in, I can't like adjust the camera to make it zooming out. I have to like plug the camera and plug it in. Yeah, it happens a lot during my previous stream, and I try a lot of ways of solving that, but yeah, I find the quickest way is just to plug it, unplug. Just all the way of solving problem. You know, I'm old. I fix TV by that's the way to fix it. Okay. So basically, you can't like go free-handedly choosing things. You have to like constantly worry about the wireframe and then look at the minimum like component of the face, a triangle or quads or maybe different gong, right? Like a hexagon and whatever fancy gong that is you're creating. But the general rule of thumb is to make all this polygon, the n gong, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, even like 100 gong, right? But don't do that. Don't do 100 gong. Is that just make the gong number, the n gong number, the n as low as possible. Okay, and yeah, and you might heard this a lot. Like there's a like low poly assets, right? And the reason for using the make it low, but also make the model looking good, is kind of like you know, if you're drawing something like that, it's like a generalization. It's like a pixel art. You sort of generalize things. You put it here. You put the polygon, the number low, but it also look pretty real and get things done. It's just basically you create some asset that you can use in the game and represent certain things. But the players still think that it's pretty immersive, and the computational power and the data, all the storage, is still at the minimum level. That's the art, that's the like engineering sort of side while you are doing the modeling. So of course, I'm not saying that you have to do that. I work as a digital art, so I want to create things freely. I want to not worry about that. But it's just good old habits, if you will, because nowadays computers like going crazy. So yeah, so low poly is like pixel art, right? And high poly is like realistic, but high poly will just make it computational like really expensive, and I think low poly is kind of like conceptualize things, and also make it really quick to run. So that's good. Okay, so I just want to at the very beginning to stress all these concepts, and you know and so you don't get like a freak out of say, oh, what's going on. So basically just a mesh, just object, just series of data. The objects are composed of a little dots, and connect dot become edge, different edges become gons, right? At least 3 edges we got like a triangle shape, and then a quad, all sort of n-gons. And general rule of thumb is that you want to make this as authentic as possible, as artistic as possible, but also keep the gon number like uniform and less than like 100. Like that, I think 4 3, something like that. Okay, don't make it like too much unless it's absolutely necessary. Ooh, that's time consuming and heavy. Yeah, time consuming and heavy. And especially if you like using AI to generate that the polygon is not good enough. But fortunately, I'm like a really great supporter of AI. I know a lot of like professional modeler will say, well, that's never AI is never going to build something good enough. The same goes for the like AI artists said, like digital artists said to the AI generated art, say, yeah, never go. Right now it's like indistinguishable from the human generated art and AI generated art. So a lot of platform like ArtStation, something like that, it's like a Pixiv, something like that. It's like a Japanese platform. They just deliberately said, I got an option if you upload your work design. It is AI generated because I think they can't tell right now, and so this really depends on the disclosure. And if you like me, you upload a video on YouTube, there is like a disclosure whether it's like AI generated or even AI modified, because that's even harder to distinguish from the real life videos. So yeah, object, mesh, polygon, this section go. Let's continue. And I think I need to maybe just 10 or 15 minutes. I need to get out of here. Okay, single vertex, face, and the edges. Yeah. And also we can yeah. Yeah, I think this is like a concept that, yeah, I don't want to introduce this concept. This is like too much later concept, because it involves like normal. It's like what's inside, outside of the model, and then you want to check whether your model is like closed enough, right? So yeah, let's look at the workflow. So yeah, it's getting a little bit messy. So you know what? How to do that? Quickly select everything, right? So, sculpting. So yeah, of course, sculpting is a different context menu. You have to go to the layouts. Okay, this is your scene. Using your middle wheel to zoom in, zoom out. Select everything. X delete everything. Okay. So basically, this video I want to talk a little bit about the whole workflow. If you want to use Blender to create your art, or you create the assets for your game, for even other like animation or gaming project and all that. But a general rule of thumb, a typical classic way of using Blender is first you use the basic method to create like block out using shape to block out things, and then you model that. You modify different like different vertices, different edges, and all that. You make the different. You make the basic base mesh. You model that, and then if you want even more fine tuning, sometimes the basic mesh is enough, and they just need to like add a texture, UV unwrapping, add a texture, and then shading, adding light, render out. That's already enough. And then if you want to do a little bit animation, or if you want to rig it, adding an aperture and then rig it, adding animation, and put that into your game. That's enough. Okay, but this is like a low poly. Sometimes you can even get like really high poly by just using base mesh modeling. But if you want a little bit low, high poly, right, you can do the sculpting. So basically, you can go there. You can sculpting is a very creative process, if you will, and it's just like sculpting in real life. You just do that digitally. If you want to do sculpting, you got to get a tablet, okay, and got this pen. We will discuss that how to do that, and there are a lot of shortcuts that you have to change a little bit because you're basically using pen to control, and not using the key, the mouse and keyboard to control. Okay, it's great fun. And sculpting is great for example, you want to create a dragon, right? You create like a whales, or even sculpt a person, sculpt a specific face, the texture of the clothes, and some stylization of the hair, something like that. But of course you can use, or I know you can use the Wizard of Blender magic to create hair and all that. But of course you can make it stylized. You're not just using the hair system. You can make it stylized, like really thick hair, like in like a Disney animation, and then you can sculpt the detail. This is like you want to like sculpt a really detailed, really fine-tuned human touch, and you're sculpting. And if you are dealing with the sculpting, just as same as when you like using AI to generate it, the topology it is just like a like a little bit faces of it will be wrong even, or will be not perfect. Okay, so basically you got like sculpt character, especially if you do that freehand sculpting, not just like using like the like rigorous process of using the mesh rendering. We will get a really messy structure, and we want it to make it better. And so yeah, you might ask, why we do we need to make it like better topology? Like this method is called retopology. Just to retopology, like retopology, yeah, retopology, just to redo the topology, yeah. So basically, the reason for that is that if you wanted to move this model, not just like you sculpt it and you just make it appear in inside the virtual space. You want it to move, to rig, and to deform. So for example, if you like got like a walking animation, walking loop, you got to deform like the arm, right? So for example, the arm, you got to deform like a squid. So for example, you got like T-pose, right? It will be like straight, and then you're going to use like a curve. Okay, so basically this is like a deform. So if the topology is not correct, the deform will be very bad. Okay, sometimes you'll be even weird. That when you deform, you add a certain, you rig that, you add certain animation, and the model would just be like deformed, like just just we can't add animation to the original model. So I think one of the amazing things about using Blender is that when you create something out from thin air, and you can just using like very basic like mapping, just some sort of mapping mechanism. You just add amateur and mapping, and then you just throw that to the say mix mode that got like a lot of animation that you can use for free, even commercially, and then you can make it come to life, and then you can make it into the game, and then it's a usable asset. And I think this is one of the like attractive of using a 3D modeling, and of course you can even like here is like my way of doing things. You can not only just using that in a 3D model, you can also use it as a 2D model as well. So you can like for example, I create pixel art. Okay, you can actually import pixel art into model, into the Blender, and then you can rig it, and you can deform the pixel art, and you don't need to create all for the pixel art animation. You can just decompose the pixel art part, just like you using like live 2D sort of a thing as a VTuber, and then you can make your pixel art move, but in a modular way. So basically, this is one of the things that are interesting most about. I'm excited most about Blender is that you can make things and make it animation and make it like a usable asset. You can control it and play it in the game. So that's the reason I think this retopology is very, very important, just to make a topology usable and can be deformed and it can be animated. Okay, so low poly mixer, so time consuming effect. It's not like different parts. It's not like different parts. Yeah, it's not like different parts. You can actually just make one model. Like you can sculpture a I'm going to do that later, but not today. Today I have to like out of here in 5 minutes. So basically you can like sculpture the whole person, right, with all this like fancy gears and cape even, and then you can rig it, right? But you have to make this topology at least a decent, and then you can rig it, and then you can use like mix mode, or even you can use like motion capture, right? I did this project many years ago. It's like I took a video of myself like doing all sort of fancy stuff, right? And using motion capture, using AI to it's not like a technical mocap. I make a mocap close myself. I got a lot of like sticker stick to my clothes so you can better track, and then using AI to track my movement, and then using that mocap, and then you can control the model that you just sculpted or just created inside of Blender, and then you can make it move. So this way it's just so much easier to create customized animation without without just frame by frame. If you look at here, you look down below, this is like a frame by frame. So basically, if you want to like using animation but without mocap or without like already made animations like a mix mode, you have to do that manually. Okay, so sometimes I got like a weird like a hand or like a tentacle movement, right? I just got something like this, and of course you can use this is just a lot of things. So for example, if you want using code, you can use you can use procedure generated. So basically, you can use code to give you like like a movement, like a spider, or like like the hand in like a Wednesday, something like that. You can make it as movement, but it's not natural, right? So you have to use a keyframe, and you can adjust the curve, like how this like every steps actually moves. But if you're using mocap, you just you just record the data, and then it will automatically get done. So it's fun, and it's just, oh my god, there's just so much of possibility, and yeah, I thought this would be like a very easy like chatting, and it's just the chat tons of things. Oh my gosh, and each of the topic is worth like at least a month of extensive study. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff. I'm pretty excited. I'm get get carried away by all sort of things. Do you have an analysis using Asus Game Labs on the mouse account, but any other hardware for now? Oh, this enough? Absolutely, I think there's absolutely enough for Blender. You even got like RTX. I think absolutely. This computer is like, I bought that 10, nearly 10 years ago. Yeah, still it can work, as long as you are not doing some crazy rendering stuff. And you can, uh, this is just to come to another topic. You can use like remote rendering. You can use a proxy to rendering. So if you're like doing really expensive animation and high poly rendering, lighting stuff, you may need to do that remotely or something like that. Okay, but I think normal stuff. You just need to. You don't need to just go to this shading mode. We can preview, and when it's okay, you can just render it. But I think most of the time you're just doing the modeling without doing all sort of rendering like animation and all that. I don't think this is a huge requirement. It's definitely doable, and then I prefer to make like a passable level asset and then immediately import into my game so I can actually use. Oh my gosh, I just become bigger. There's a hint of ending today's stream, I think. Yeah, there's a bit. Let me finish. So it's like yeah. I wanted this to be actually being used at least 5 years for me to do ops stuff, so I can get better. Yeah. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. You can do yeah. You can always just start with something, and when you just get started, if it's crappy, it doesn't really matter. Okay. I know a lot of things that you got like a huge gatekeeping, like a very hostile community. Yeah, yeah, my camera again. I know a lot of people just get like really hostile, and like really. So for example, for a programmer like Stack Overflow, right? If you're a newbie, you ask some questions, and a lot of experienced programmer will like just shut down the topic and just say it's irrelevant. It's very easy. You should do that, and it's not like a very accommodating environment. It's just very hostile and a very high level. But you know what? I don't think I think it shouldn't be any gatekeeping, because we are all stupid, right? We're all stupid. When we first learn things, everyone will appear to be stupid, but that doesn't mean that that person is stupid, right? There shouldn't be a gatekeeping. That we can improve, right? Especially with the help of AI, right? We can improve fairly easily, and so that's the reason I think building community is very important. Not just about oh, this is the fancy stuff that I do and only I can do. You do it all wrong. You should do something like this or something like that. At least be constructive and contribute, adding value a little bit, rather than just shutting other people down. Yeah, I think that's my take. Yeah, I'm going to eat my dinner, and yeah, so that gives us a reason to learn more and work hard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to grab something to eat. Okay. Thank you, the Ugly King, and for anyone else who's still there, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream. And yeah, bye. Bye.